I've had a girlfriend for the last 2.5 years, a young lady named Kiara, who I met. She brought in her mom for an interview. Her mom is a homeless drug addict, lives on the streets to this day. And we met and just kind of clicked and got along. And it was really, she wasn't the kind of girl I thought I would ever be involved with romantically, but it turned into that very quickly. And it was really the most wonderful relationship. It was magical. We both used to say all the time, like, I can't believe this is happening. It's like both of us seem to love each other more
every day.
The relationship got stronger and better as it went on, and it was beautiful. It was just amazing. She used to say, I used to say, I was much older than I am much older than she is, and I used to say, like, if you ever want to get rid of me because I'm too old, just let me know. And she goes, like, I would never do that. You're like, you're irreplaceable. There's nobody like you. And I felt the same way about her. It's like she was one of a kind. So fun and kind, and our sense of humors were perfectly matched. It was like we just constantly made each other laugh. My job is hard. I do this all day, and some days are really difficult. Like, I would just come home fried and just in a nasty sour mood, and I would walk in the door and sit down, and just within 3 minutes, everything was erased and just gone. It would evaporate just because of the way she treated me, the way we interacted. It was just magical, and it was the best. Only 2.5 years, but probably one of the best things that ever happened to me.
It didn't matter, this age difference. You guys were just best friends.
She was very mature for her age. She was in her 20s. She was very mature for her age. I had a hard time believing she was in her 20s, more like 30s. She looked 30-something. And I am very young at heart for my age. So, yes, on paper, it's a big age gap, but in reality, we were perfectly matched. Perfectly matched. It sounded weird on paper, but if you saw us together, there was nothing weird about it. She had a 3-year-old son. She has a 3-year-old son. We would see each other every day, every night, had breakfast every other day, and then get together for the evening after work. And then we would be texting each other. She'd text me all these really sweet little love kind of messages throughout the day, and that was really sweet. I enjoyed all that silly little stuff. It was really something I never thought I'd like in a relationship. Very different kind of woman than I've ever been with before. I was always into these almost elusive, challenging, difficult people, and she was none of that. Just loving, kind, open, honest, sweet, just the greatest in every way. And last Wednesday, I texted her like I always do at night. I came by to see her just briefly because she had some friends over. But I came by to say hi. She was her usual self. Everything was perfect. I left, and I texted her when I went to bed. She texted me back right away. And then in the morning, I get up early. I text her and don't expect a reply right away. But like 8 o'clock goes by, 9 o'clock goes by, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I drive over. She lived nearby my studio. And I have a key to her place. I go open the door. Her 3-year-old son is there with a stinky diaper. And I go, where's mommy? And he points to the bedroom. And I go into the bedroom. The bed is empty.
Thought y'all knew about Mark from Southway Underbelly, but I'm so glad that y'all finally found out that Mark is a predator. Mark is a nice guy, Narc. Mark will come and be your white savior. Mark will come pay your bills. Mark will come put you in a home. But Mark will also want favors in exchange. The very favors he is interviewing you about. Mark will pretend to be your man and tell you that you can't have nobody in that home. You can't do this, you can't do that. Mark was not helping those ladies. Mark was abusing those women the same way he was interviewing them about being abused and being a 60-something dating a 19-year-old that you've been talking to since she was about 15 or 16 years old. Mark has never been a good person. Have y'all not learned anything? Zimmerman, Zuckerberg, and this right here. They can't be trusted, especially if they this cup. You just gonna stand there and look at me. Get these off the street. Don't worry about it. I'll do it. You right. I'll do it. But don't say nothing to me. When you get an influx of new patients, don't say nothing to me. When you get an influx of new customers, and they all coming from the same batch, the perverse one. Have a good day. Yes, I'm so glad that Mark is getting the attention he so genuinely deserves. And hopefully a subpoena in motherfucking prison is followed behind it. That white man is a danger to black women in every urban community that he touches. He does not go into those communities and help those women. He goes in those communities and further defiles them, abuses them, and takes their money. Have a good day.
You know, the craziest thing about mentioning or even posting stories like this is that I know guaranteed for a fact that videos like this will never see the light of day, right? A lot of the main people that like to come through the comment section, oh, Seiji, you hate this and you hate this and da da da, they tend not to show up when it deals with videos like this. Or if they do, again, they tend to do the whole thing of like, oh, but the femicide rates, and oh, but stay focused on what black men are sitting up there doing. You're talking about this one guy here and yada yada. And I'm like, and this is the problem. And this is the problem, 100%. That when you put the focus specifically and you put the faces directly up there, people will sit idly by. Number one, make excuses. Number two, still try to say that somebody else is to blame and not the person directly in front. And then number three, people don't want to focus in on the fact that this young woman ended up losing her life. Again, I'm not sure 100% of all the factors that are specifically there. The only thing that you have is that old man who was 60-something years old with a 20-something-year-old woman who was pretty much out there on the streets. Right? And the thing that I notice is that a lot of people say that a lot of women out there say that they are super protective and that there's a sisterhood and all this other type of stuff when it deals with women. But there are countless women out here on these streets who are homeless every single day. And they're just strolling. They living by the skin of their teeth, and they're doing whatever it is that they need to do in order to survive and thrive or get whatever fix that they need. And the thing that I look directly at is the fact that if there is a so-called sisterhood, as a lot of women like to say, then that sisterhood should be coming directly together and buying a structure and, revitalizing that structure so that these women don't have to be on these streets. So that these women don't have to, in a sense, be in these circumstances, in these conditions, because it is not conductive or conducive for a woman or a young woman or a teenage girl to be going through, right? And there's tons of videos that you can see where women, from the ranges of teenagers, high school, all the way up until probably maybe let's say 50s or something like that, 50s, maybe even 60s, you'll see a variety of women directly out there in the streets. And I always ask myself whenever I see these videos, where are the women who say that they care so much? Where are the feminists who always want to preach from the rooftops about, how great women are and all this other? I'm like, where are all of those women to pick those women up, to dust them off, to revitalize them, to speak love, to speak value, to lift them up, to propel them past their lowest point at this moment in time, right? Where are those women to raise those women's vibrational levels? And again, I'm not trying to hear the excuse of like, oh, well, you can't save everybody. People have to go through. I'm not trying to hear none of those excuses. I'm not trying to sit up there and hear. Because maybe it would potentially make a little bit of sense if we were talking about men, because again, nobody cares about men, right? We know this. That is 100% facts. Nobody cares about men. We're just looking at the world in general and we're generalizing the whole thing. Again, men don't care about men. Women don't care about men. These are just the facts that it is, right? So in total, the world does not care. Again, look at Father's Day, right? So then when you look directly at the women, and we know the fact that women are, in a variety of ways, they are appreciated. Women do have areas in different places where they can talk to people, where they can seek help, where they can get some, financial upliftment, different areas of which women can just so happen to get grants or, make their living situations better. There are a variety of things out there to specifically fund and help women directly out there, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So again, I'm just wondering, when it deals with stories like this, why is there always so much silence? Why are these women allowed to live in these conditions? Other women see these women I'm talking about, like, these women are literally, on the side of the road, just walking, just, going to and from. Why aren't groups of women out there trying to advocate and trying to get those women directly off the streets? That's all I'm asking. Right? Because we know that the lifestyle is detrimental. We know what the worst case scenario is. We even know what the best case scenario is, which can still turn into the worst case scenario. So again, I'm just simply asking, where are all of those women that normally come to my platform, that always have something negative to say, that always want to move the goalposts, that always want to point the finger, that always want to somehow, some way still try to blame men, when it is that women said that they love and care for women more than anybody else? They see themselves and other women directly out there. They acknowledge and value other women. So again, I'm asking, where are those women? Where are those women at? And again, like I said, I'm pretty much going to be talking to thin air, because this video is not going to get, a lot of traction. It's not at all, right? And I'm probably going to have somebody, just like in the previous other videos, be like, Seiji, I see you now. You're again sitting up there saying this, that, and the third. I liked your comment. Well, I'm going to have to unsubscribe now, and da-da-da-da. Like I said, again, not even focused on the topic, focused on something else emotional that's pretty much irrelevant at this moment in time, when I'm clearly asking a question so that we can actually get to a solution, so that these women and these teenage girls don't have to be out here on these streets dealing with these situations, ending up in the clutches of men just like this, who saw an opportunity and took that opportunity and used that opportunity. So like I said, he's making content off of content at this moment in time. And it looks like a lot of women out there ain't really saying much. You might have a handful of women, but in the totality of it, you don't really have a lot of women out there caring, and you have to question why that is, right? But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that's stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.